We got the filmmaker and the star right here, so let's get it going for Paul Downs Colaizzo, writer and director, and star Jillian Bell, aka Brittany.
Thank you.
Oh man, how's that soundtrack? I like those choices you had.
Thank you. That last song
was bumping.
Oh, the song that's playing right now, which is the beginning song, is royalty free because we ran out of money. So
it's indie filmmaking, people.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Let's kick right off. I'm going to throw it to the audience because I'm sure you guys have questions, and I've asked them a few things already. So let's kick it off with the inception point. What inspired this film, and the real Brittany, and how you met her?
Well, she's here tonight.
Maybe she can stand up.
Where are you?
Where are you? No, stand up. Don't just wave. Yay!
There we go.
And where's Linda, her mom?
Yay!
There we go.
I'm just calling
Everybody
her
gets their chance to stand up.
every single one.
What's your name? Brittany and I went to college together. We went to NYU. She was the funniest person I'd ever met. And we fell out of touch in our early 20s and our mid 20s. I needed a place to live, and she needed a roommate, so I moved in. We very quickly started having conversations about our lives and what we wanted to do with them and how they weren't what we wanted them to be. And they were vulnerable, friendship, sort of big dream conversation talks. And out of those conversations, Brittany decided to go for her first run. And when she did that, I thought, this might be a movie. This person who's so funny and makes every situation fun and undercuts any seriousness with levity and irony and joy, also pursuing something earnest for once and going after a goal that involves pushing herself. And it was sort of a grain of an idea, and I was doing a rough outline, and as she continued on this journey, I saw what was a woman who I loved, who was experiencing hope and hopelessness and pain and joy and triumph. And it was funny and pathetic and lovely and great and sort of everything. And I thought, well, that's an experience I'd really love an audience to go on.
It actually worked out, yeah. How did you navigate, because obviously this isn't a straight-up biopic. You know, we did a story with Brittany for Runner's World, which you guys should check out, but it isn't a straight-up biopic. How did you navigate sort of the fictional elements and the true-life elements?
Yeah,
and
so,
how did you
like,
bring those in?
everyone's probably uncomfortable because, like, Brittany did some stuff, and now you know her mom's here, but she didn't do that stuff.
That's why I wanted to get to,
The
just
sex
so
stuff
everybody
was
knew.
real. The sex stuff was real.
Yeah. But real Brittany did way more drugs than this character. No, I mean, look, her DNA is all over it. It was inspired by her. I was able to steal tent poles from her journey, and living with her and just being there for her and with her was really great research. But I had to create a story, and I had to create a character that, you know, had an arc for the audience to go on. And so I split them off. There was real Brittany, and there was Brittany Forgler, who's the protagonist of the film, and I invested in creating a character that could go on a full journey for an audience.
Jillian, let's move to you and how you felt when you first read that script from Paul.
I felt all the things. I felt excited and nervous and passionate about telling this kind of a story. I had been looking for a project like this, something very different from a lot of the odd women I've gotten to play over my career. And this came my way, and my manager said, I think you're going to relate to her a lot, and I want you to read the entire thing because it's a beautiful story, and it's a different kind of telling of what can sort of be a transformation story and the pitfalls that come with that sometimes. And I did. I felt deeply in love with you, Brittany. I felt deeply in love with her and Paul's beautiful words. And we met in Brooklyn and sort of sat down, and we're so nervous to meet each other. And we talked about what we were trying to say with this film, what his intentions were, what I fell in love with, and we were on the same page. And we just kept having creative conversations about that.
Yeah. And how early did you begin that work? Because you really dove deep on the running side, right? You were doing a lot of research, and you started training and working on that months before.
This was the first project I had been involved in 7 months before we started filming anything. And I obviously, the running is in the title, so I was like, I should probably start trying that for the first time in my life. Not the first day we're on set. Try to do that. So yeah, I did it on my own though, because Brittany did it on her own, and I thought, well, I'm gonna learn a lot from this as well, and I had my sister tape me doing just runs around the neighborhood, and I used them as a way to recall that I wore the wrong pants, or that I, how I held my posture, the breathing techniques that I didn't know how to do yet, and then eventually
you became an expert even for us. Like, at times we shot the movie in 28 days, so there was a lot of running all over the place, and we had a body double at times, and sometimes for shooting the running, we'd have to use the body double, and we'd go like, Jillian, what was it like at the beginning?
Yeah,
and she'd be showing the body double like where to put the weight on your foot because you don't know what you're doing yet.
Right, or I was holding my my fists, I was clenching them very tightly when I first started running, and that's not a thing you should do. So just everything had to be relayed because we were running around the whole time we were shooting, and yeah, it was intense.
It's a pretty crazy physical transformation, right? That wasn't even something that was planned by Paul, but that just took place.
Yeah, well, I thought it would connect me to the character more. I decided to lose 40 pounds because she does in the film, and there were a lot of moments that I thought, wow, I feel like I am this person. And then there were other moments in the script where I was a little baffled and I couldn't connect to her emotionally, and I thought that if I did it physically, it would connect me more, and it did.
Paul, how'd that make you feel as a director? And also, this is your first feature. This is his first feature, guys. It's crazy.
Thanks. What if it was dead silence and they were like,
Not so great. Not so great. You'll do better next time.
Obvious. It was amazing, and also like it wasn't lost on me that I was a man telling this story, and that when I became the director, I really had to, I had no intention of directing it when I was writing it, but then when I became the director, I knew that I had to really make sure, like check myself and make sure I didn't have any blind spots, and really make sure I was telling it in the most respectful, empathetic, real, compassionate way possible, as much as I could. And we talked over, we went over every line of the script, every week, every line of the script, and like to a T, so that when we showed up on set, we were telling the exact same story, but two, to make sure that what we were putting out into the world, we felt we could stand behind and we believed in, and was a message that we were proud of. And as she was going on that weight loss journey, and I knew about it, the question became, how are we going to show this? How are we going to do this? And we had to do it in a way that felt true to the journey of the script and the character and the inspiration and your own journey. And so we did that through body padding and through makeup and through just a little bit of prosthetics at the beginning, hair shape, sort of trying to find a way to use the tools and the magic of cinema to tell a story without it ever feeling cartoonish or like it was a joke, like it was just part of a woman's journey, and that it was part of the journey, not the full journey.
We actually used to, in the beginning of the film, it shows my Facebook page, and that's an actual picture of me at the beginning of the process.
Right.
Because obviously we couldn't shoot, 7 months prior and then pick up a few months later. It was
right. So that is actually her, and then on the couch is a recreation of her.
So if you guys don't remember that, you'll just have to watch it again, okay? Angelica's got some showings.
Yeah,
so
just for that one moment.
yeah, exactly. Just make sure you pick up on that. I mean, you mentioned, some things you don't want to talk, you wanted to say without it being a joke, but obviously there's a lot of jokes. It's a lot of laughter in this film, So tell me about, writing those lines and what those came from. And also, Jillian, I know you're an incredible improv actress. I'm not sure how much of that came into play here.
Well, so the idea of the movie was to sort of take this icon of an American comedy, sort of like hot mess, fat best friend, sidekick, party girl that we've been taught to laugh at, and deepen her and ask you to empathize with her and go on a hero's journey with her. Well, how can she be the everyman? And so, that meant that our humor couldn't be sort of, this term might be, but like patriarchal humor. We couldn't be laughing at her because she was different or she was a woman or because of her body. We wanted to do it respectfully and relatably. So all of the humor comes out of human desire, her tactics to pursue those desires, or the other character's tactics to pursue those desires. And so the idea is that when the audience is laughing, no one's laughing at her. No one's ever laughing at her in what we did. And it's the relatability of it or the identification of it. But you start the film thinking, oh, I know this girl. By the middle of the film, the design is that you're thinking, oh, wait, I am this girl. That was a switch. And by the end, what we're hoping you feel is if I push myself hard enough, I could be this girl. So we wanted to explore how we could keep humor in all three of those chapters of the film.
And as far as improvisation, usually when I do a film, most of them have been comedies, and I come and we shoot as is, and then we'll do a lot of improv. This was the first film that I read, and I sort of was like, I'm actually terrified to improv within this situation, because the words are what connected me to her. I fell in love with her journey and what she goes through, and it felt so real. And I knew who she was. She had been me, my best friends, my mother, my father at moments, truly. And I just thought, if I'm just going to try to make the camera guy laugh or something, or a Video Village laugh, I'm not doing her justice.
Yeah, well, we approached the script like it was a drama. We never looked at like what's the funny version of this. We looked at what's the character version of this, and that took us word by word.
I'm curious, how many people out there are runners? How many people run often? Anybody gonna try running after this? Yeah, okay, I love that.
Have fun. It's terrible for your joints. I mean, and also yay.
You don't.
There's ways to do it. I mean, I have to have you talk about shooting at the New York Marathon. You actually you were the first film to shoot at the marathon.
We're the first non-doc to ever shoot at the New York City Marathon.
Yes, we should clarify. Yeah.
A guy from our production team, Charlie McSpadden, had an in at the New York Roadrunners and sort of made the connection. And they were very supportive of the script from day one, of the message of the film, of what the marathon meant for the character in our world. And they were awesome. We had 3 units in the race. We woke up at like 3 a.m. It was crazy.
Yeah.
We were like dancing in the lobby of the hotel, just trying to keep our energy up. But the day is so electric anyway. We were just go, go, go. But, our unit was just like you, me, the camera guy. That might be it. 2 other people?
2 other people.
2 other people. And so we
We'd shoot, and then all of us would be like, okay, grab this piece of the
run.
camera.
We got to go back to the
and let's
start
go.
line.
Let's do it again.
So we used a lot of the marathon's actual filming equipment. And here's the best part. Here's the best story about filming the marathon. And this is the thing they have to edit out for when it goes online because it's a spoiler. Every time we shot the end of the marathon, some stranger came up and tried to help Jillian over the finish line. Every single time. And it was, the marathon's already just sort of like a wonderful, heartwarming day.
We were openly weeping.
Yes.
I mean, the camera guy, everyone.
And we were all, I was like, please move. Because she didn't want to be like, I'm an actress.
No, well, it's somebody was running 26.2 miles and then helping me across.
Yeah. So we're looking on the monitor, and Jillian's like, thank you.
I would say thank you to them, and then I would watch them walk away and be like, okay,
We got to go do it again.
let's do it again.
But it's a real testament to New York and the spirit of the marathon and the spirit of the city, really always, but on that day, and just gave us hope in sort of humanity. I mean, the message of the film is that, and we were just hoping that magic was being captured as we were filming that sequence. But it was a really beautiful, exciting experience.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, throw out to you guys for some questions. Just throw your hands up, wait for a microphone. You don't have to also, if everybody has dinner plans. There we go.
I don't actually have a question. I just want to say I'm training for my first New York City Marathon. I'm already crying because I've been crying through the whole movie. And we're about 9 or 10 weeks out where the runs get really hard. And I want to thank you guys for making this movie and having it come out now, because I'm gonna carry it with me in the next couple weeks. So thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Does anyone else want to say the same exact
Yeah,
thing?
exactly. Or does anybody want any
Felt
well
really
wishes
good
or something
to
like that?
hear.
Like we said, everybody can stand up and give your name. And no, there we go, right there.
Hi, thanks. A wonderful film. Bravo. Fantastic. Great.
Thanks.
And I'm actually going to make your poor mic person work because I want to know what Brittany thinks.
Oh, yeah.
There
Okay,
we go.
Brittany.
Okay.
What do you think, Britt?
We've never had this conversation.
Did you know there was a movie
She just
about you
goes,
that just
hated
came out?
it. She says unrelatable.
What I think of what? Like it's it's been a very oh my God, this is a bad idea. It's been a really vulnerable experience, and it's also like I love Paul, and it's a huge moment for him, and I feel forever connected to Jillian, and everyone that I love is in this room right now and just saw it, and so have no words. I shouldn't have done this. Okay.
That was perfect. That was perfect. You guys actually didn't meet before the film happened, right? You guys waited until after, or
we
at what
didn't get a
point?
chance to meet until we were shooting. He created all these other characters, and this environment felt very different. But I wanted to meet you. It's not like I was resisting. But it wasn't until then. I got to see a video of Brittany raising money for to run the marathon, and that was like my first image of her. And it was so inspiring and beautiful, and I just got a sense of who she was, and made me want to play her even more.
That's perfect. Okay, we have another question right here. Just wait for the mics. No, Jillian. Keep your mic, please, Jillian.
Okay, all right. Sorry. Sorry.
That's his job.
I didn't mean to take away your job.
So it was a really charming story and inspirational, and congratulations on it. And you're extremely funny. It was very entertaining. I wondered why you chose to make it a romantic comedy.
Well, the way I see it, if it's a romantic comedy, which I'm not sold that it is, but if it, well, there's romance and there's comedy, but is your life a romantic comedy? I bet there's both in there. No. Oh, all right. He got the girl.
Oh, I know what your answer's going to be.
What?
She
It's a
falls in love with herself.
Yeah, it's structured as a romantic comedy if it is, in that she falls in love with it's a story's love story with herself. It's not about Jaren. I mean, I'm really proud. I got really into feminist literature while I was editing this thing to a extent where I was like talking to my partner and I was like, topple the patriarchy, man. But, you know, I'm really proud that the last line of this film is, I'm not fucking marrying anybody. That's our character's happy ending, and that's great. And the last moment isn't a kiss with another person. It's her going for a run by herself. So, you know, I think it was important to keep the idea of falling in love and being open to that in the film, because letting people in is what the film is exploring, and letting people in that closely is the most difficult thing to do, especially when you're guarded. So that is the ultimate obstacle for our character, regardless of it's a man or what. That is a very hard thing to do, and I wanted her to go through that so that when she was approaching the finish line, we see that she has made that journey. But ultimately, I don't look at it as a romantic comedy. I look at it as a story of a woman overcoming herself, and in that process, falling in love with herself.
Great question, great answer. There's a question back there. Why not applaud? Absolutely. Keep it going until the mic gets. No, I'm joking. Don't. Everybody just take a pause.
Yeah, this is a question for Jillian. I'm a fellow St. Vitus Stallion.
What?
Yes.
Fill
I
us
came
in.
to support you. But my question is actually,
my elementary school.
Oh,
Her
okay.
elementary school.
Because it's about like 900
Context
other
is
people.
Sorry.
important. Context is important.
We're having a conversation.
no. My question is, you played a lot of characters in the past, but is there an extra burden or pressure knowing that you're playing someone that's real, that's watching you the whole time, that is a real person or story? And does that carry weight, or did you feel stressed out about that?
Well, first of all, I think all of the women I've played in the past maybe have died by now if they were really alive. They're all crazy.
Look out, Brittany.
Pimps and drug dealers and villains. No, but don't look out, Brittany. No, but definitely different. When I met Brittany, I desperately wanted her to feel like she knew that I was trying to do her justice, that I was protective of her and wanted to be careful. And the first time she came to set, we were shooting one of the more emotional scenes, and I remember asking Paul like 4 times, I'm like, will you call her and just see if she's okay? Because it's a big deal, you know, when somebody says they're going to write a movie about your life. And then there's a different thing when you come to a set and you see someone trying to portray that. So I obviously was, I wanted her to feel good about it. And I have to give you a lot of credit to you, Brittany. You were so wonderful about making me feel at home in this character and giving us a thumbs up the entire time. I felt very lucky to play her.
Now, every answer that doesn't end in applause, now I feel like there's been a precedent set. Does anybody else have a question? Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out, and thanks again, guys, for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
you guys.